Good morning, everyone. This is the Afterglow. Good morning. Good morning. So, this is the Afterglow live recap podcast. So, well, actually, stop. It's been a week and a half, guys. So, we're a little out of shape here. But my name is Syya.
And I'm Erin Gregor.
And I'm Cynthia Beckham.
Welcome, Cynthia. Okay, so we're the co-hosts of the Afterglow Live Recap podcast. And what are we recapping? We are recapping the weekly speaker series that Global Leaders Organization puts on and curates for all members and also for public. It's actually live streaming on Facebook and on YouTube. So this week, we actually enjoyed a conversation with Mr. Kevin Harrington. He's original Shark from the Shark Tank series. And he calls himself the originator of the infomercial, which is pretty freaking amazing because he's hilarious. So to help us recap Mr. Kevin Harrington, we have a very special guest and a very dear friend of mine, Cynthia Beckham with PeerCheer Covers and Tied Together Marketing. Cynthia, welcome to Afterglow.
Thank you, Syya. I'm so excited to be here. Hi, Erin.
Hi, Cynthia. It's awesome meeting you.
Thank you. Kevin Harrington. I mean, this guy has just transformed retail. I mean, the infomercial, like all of the companies, his products he shared yesterday. I don't know about you all, but I was like, wait a minute, where do I get the ball? Where do I get the leash? Like, everything he touches just seems to be magic, right?
Well, and what's interesting, though, is he mentioned only 1 out of 3, like on average, he's hitting about 1 out of 3 for successful companies. So it's good to know, too, someone that successful and that awesome isn't batting 100.
That's right. That's right.
Actually, I was surprised that the rate he said was 1 out of 3. Because to me, it's like, wow, when you're making those types of investment, you would think the hit rate would be slightly higher, right? Or, you would think.
You would think that because he selects them, right? Like, he has his choice of pretty much, any product, any brand. And obviously when he goes in to mentor someone or helps them, that literally he believes in the product, right? So it was definitely an interesting stat that he shared.
Yeah. Made me feel a lot better.
It just cracked. Okay. So can we just be honest here? And I've always been very respectful for all the guests at GLO because they do have a lot of value. They have a lot to share. And, they're just, very cool guys and gals. But I was laughing for a bit there because he went into infomercial mode. Like at one point in my notes, I said, is this a fireside chat or an infomercial? What did you guys think about that approach? Or do you think that's part of Kevin's personality?
Well, I think first of all, when he said, wait, there's more. I mean, he could not have said, wait, there's more perfectly. I'm like, you've said this before a few times. But
yes.
I think, too, as a person in his role, you don't get where you are by not selling at every opportunity you have. And I don't think he was there selling. I think that's just his energy. I think that's just who he is. I think he's that excited about his products. He got led into that. It wasn't like he stopped the conversation and was like, wait, I just want to show you what's there. He was, asked about it. But I think that's just him naturally. And I think you have to be that naturally to get to the level that you're at.
And I think you also have passion, right? It's deep passion for the products and the people that you surround yourself with. And so it's just your authentic self coming out, that excitedness that you want to share this with others and see them use the product, right? Or use the service. He also talked about, service in his fireside chat yesterday. But I think you're right. It was just a total natural thing for him to spin off into infomercial land, which was great. It got me inspired. I don't know about the two of you.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I feed off that type of energy, right? So, by nature, I'm an extrovert. So I'm like all about that stuff, right? So, what I thought was fascinating, let's just take it a step back a little bit because, when they say are entrepreneurs made or are they born that way? I thought it was fascinating that he said he gives full credit to his father for helping him start this business.
That's right. That's right. I did too. Actually, I come from a long line of entrepreneurs too, Syya. And so when you see people in your family that take that leap of faith. And that's truly what it is, right? They believe in something, they take that leap of faith, and you watch that, you can't help but to gravitate to it, right? Or at least give it a go around. So it's I think that you find that inspiration all around you at different points within your life.
Well,
But
I found it interesting. His dad went to work for him at one point.
I
And,
know,
and
I
he
know.
had
I
a
was
whole
like,
family affair going, which, God, mad props to him. Mad
and
props
his
to him.
son, right?
Yeah.
Like his
And his
sons,
brother-in-law was working for him,
right?
or brother, one of the two. Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, so there are like some definite perils to allowing your family to be part of your business. I
Oh,
mean, let's be honest on that, right? I mean, you never mix money, business, with family, right? But as a father, and quite frankly, as a first mentor, wow, what an honor. Don't you think that would be, though, as a father, to be like, wow, my son or my child has done so well that I'd proudly work for them? I mean, Erin,
yes,
you're doing such an amazing job with your 2 children. I mean, Erin, can you brag a little bit about your kids? Because I do love the golf ball hustle that your kids are doing.
Well, I just teach them to make their own money. I mean, that's what I was taught too. So I work with them to learn how to, instead of saying I can't, how can you?
that's right. There's no such thing as no. It's what is it that you want, and then you carve a path to
Right.
that goal every time. Yep. Agreed. My kids do the same thing, Erin, right? They've taken a vested interest in events, and they want to understand how those work. And interesting enough, same with the chair covers with PeerCheer. And I think when you involve your family in that, you kind of prop yourself up with some love and support, and also you're teaching them how to be self-sufficient and to make their own choices, which obviously Kevin and his dad did the same, right? Which was pretty inspiring.
Yeah,
Now, I'm
well,
not
I
sure
did
if
like.
my kids are going to do that. Let's be real. I'm not sure if my 3 children are going to start their own businesses, but at least we'll show them how it works.
Right.
I think it teaches discipline. I think it teaches accountability, discipline, and thinking outside the box. It's that critical thinking that if you're like, look, I was a corporate shill for 20 odd years, right? You could still have an entrepreneurial spirit working for a larger organization, right?
Absolutely.
In fact, it seems to me that corporations, the major big ones, are actually shifting towards that entrepreneurial mindset as well. And I think I embrace that. I think that's amazing because that will constantly feed into innovation. So speaking of innovation, okay, there was one thing that Kevin did talk about, and I'm not going to lie to you, and I'm not trying to shill for him, but I'm kind of into. Okay, it's the food and beverage product that he picked up that can, and at first I'm like, great, what other Celsius. I'm like, what other magical elixir is coming out with whatever? So Meg Nocero, thank you for joining. Celsius is the name of this product. And at first he didn't quite sell it that well. And then he started talking more about it. And I was like, ooh, that's kind of sexy. And now I guess it's almost $1 billion business, I think he said, or it's getting up there. To me, that's amazing to enter a highly cutthroat food and beverage business and actually make an impact. To me, that was super inspiring to know that even if you go into a highly competitive industry, you can still do business. You can still be successful.
Absolutely. And he carved that out so beautifully, I thought, in the fact that when they started the business, it was like, okay, is this just another ordinary drink? Well, actually, no, because of the contents inside. So he had to sell, and his whole team had to sell what's inside the can. Because when you go to a supermarket or you go somewhere else, there's many options out there, but it's what makes your product different. And I thought that once he started talking about the Celsius, it was quite interesting. I don't know about you ladies, but I'm definitely going to go out and get a couple of cans and try it out for myself.
Well, I mean, okay, so talking about a high barrier of entry into market, which I'm giving props to Leslie on adding to this, is PeerCheer. Okay, let's think about how and why you pivoted, because Tied Together Marketing was an amazing event organization company that you had. Obviously, with the pandemic, I'm going to assume your business went from awesome to zero very quickly.
Good call, Syya. we based our we based our business on live in-person events, and so when COVID hit, obviously we were no longer able to produce in-person events. So we pivoted the company to virtual, but at the same time, it allowed the opportunity for me and the team to really double down on the PeerCheer cover concept. Interesting enough, when PeerCheer concept was born about a year ago, the whole idea was to put these in the corporate events through TTM and other event arenas. However, then we had to pivot.
What does TTM mean? What does TTM mean?
Tie Together Marketing.
I'm so sorry.
The event firm.
Okay,
yes. So it was easy. It was okay. We're going to produce these beautiful chair covers that can be branded. We'll put them in all the events. And so not only when Tied Together in the event world took a nap, right, because of COVID, we also had to pivot quickly in terms of where are we going to apply the decorative covers in the marketplace. And interesting enough, the home decor market was in phase like 4 or 5 of the companies. So we had to be small and nimble and shift up to launching in the home decor market. So to wrap our heads around that took a little bit of time. And to be perfectly honest with you, that's why we went with the soft launch, so that we could understand exactly how the market operated, so that you can make those tweaks along the way.
Can you talk a little bit how you did your research? Because coming from corporate, coming from business, everything being a B2B, how did you shift going to the B2C?
Well, that's an interesting question, Erin. We shifted the model, obviously, very quickly, right, into the B2C world. And we wanted to get out to some product validators first and foremost. Here's a chair cover. Let's see what you think about it. So the product validation first, and then also research in terms of what does the DIY market, how much time do people invest into their home and transforming their home space? What are some of the price points for accessories? Because frankly, the decorative chair covers with the designs on them, something that you could just slip over the back, truly is not mainstream at this point. So we're creating this niche, right, in the marketplace. And so do we have all the answers? No. Does that mean that we need some mentors along the way to help us? And so we're going to go slow. We're going to be nimble. We have the pilot program and the soft launch. And I think that the product validation along with the customer reaction is giving us much more insight into where we fit in this space than some of the numbers that we initially saw in the home decor trend, which is actually the home market is trending up, right? I mean, It's actually booming, and it's surpassed, I believe, the expectations of where they thought it was going to be at the end of 22 just because of COVID. So we felt like this was definitely the right time, and to obviously, validate first is so important before you invest all your capital and go out to market. And then there's always revisions to products. But
so where are you guys in your phase right now? You said you soft launched, or you're soft launching?
We have done a soft launch. We have product validators. We actually launched the website actually right before Thanksgiving, so about a week and a half ago. We have product out there that has been tested, and we have some testimonials, not just in the home decor market, but also in restaurant spaces, just to see, other people's reactions. I think that every day of the week you can love your own product, you can love your own service, but it's truly that validation process, and to watch it, I have to say, absolutely makes me giddy at times, right? This lady that was one of
Totally.
our validators, she said, it's so buttery. I want to put it, the material is so soft. I kind of want to wear it after Thanksgiving because of the spandex in them. So,
That's funny.
and then she didn't have to decorate. So I think that getting to product validation is definitely an important component to launching a new company.
That's awesome.
So Erin, so Kevin, so we're going back to that original comment they were talking about. His success rate was only 1 out of 3. He actually added a little disclosure, was it probably would have been higher had he done more rigorous testing. So as opposed to just dumping $500,000 into a business, he said, yeah, let's go 10 to 20K and pilot it out and actually see what the market traction is.
That's right.
To me, that just seems intuitive. Why would you guys, I mean, I'm not in the investor world, so everyone wants to answer that, but.
So I can tell you. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Erin, I know you can tell us, so go for it.
No, I mean, I can say, especially prior, and you're seeing the shift happen too. Originally, like, people would get really excited about the product and not pay attention to the people. And if there's lessons I've learned time and time again, the product can be amazing. It's the people that is so much more important than the product. Because if the people aren't going to do what they say they're going to do, if the people aren't going to, I mean, running a business isn't easy and building a business isn't easy. And you've got to do the things that you don't want to do necessarily and you're uncomfortable doing. And a lot of times investors get really excited over a product, but the people that are in place to build that product, they were just kind of overlooking, like, the product will sell itself. And so, as intuitive as it is, it's not that intuitive. Lesson learned. But it's really important to really understand the people you're partnering with versus just the product you're selling.
Okay, so let's challenge this then, because we've mentioned this before, and I think it's going to be, I'm sure, a MBA business case study forever, is Quibi. So we talked about this, right? Where there was a concept, I guess you can call that product. You would think you had the right people aligned, right? They got a lot of heavy hitters, and it just wasn't there. Do you think it was a assumption that their baby was so good that the market will come? Like, if you build it, they will come? Or was it just bad timing on their part?
I don't know enough about, I just know, like, just because you have a heavy hitter doesn't necessarily, I know, like, Meg Whitman got pulled in, who was, never, she came from the HP world. I don't know enough about her history, but I mean, there was a lot of people reaching out for money. And I think sometimes, unfortunately, people make the same mistakes twice, right? I can speak for that, or 3 times or 4 times. But, I think I don't know enough to say it. I don't know how much you know about it, Cynthia, but I'm sure they got money. They threw money. I've been part of startups that, John goes to his friends, and I'll say it's a guy thing because it's majority guy, and says, hey, I'm in the startup. I need each of you to give me $100,000 to get this going. And they hand it over because they trust John, and it fails. So, when you have people with money, they can throw it around and they think, money will solve all problems, but they don't.
I think you're right, Erin, that it's also the impatience level. Everything right now is instant. And when you start a company or launch a product, it's not instant. So you have to have patience. You have to go through the steps, and you have to really be able to put the right people in place. And those are your mentors. Those are the people in the room that have been down the journey before that can help you sideswipe some of those pitfalls. And if you don't have those mentors or the people with smart capital behind you that are not just going to dump money in, but that are also going to open doors and teach you and your team and your and the consumer how to absorb this product into the marketplace, I think that is why that so many companies, misuse capital. That's why that they don't succeed, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. that mentorship, you mentioned that, and that actually in the VIP session, he actually really emphasized to us. So for those that want to get access to VIP one-on-one conversation with these speakers, join GLO as a premium member. That's my infomercial, just so people are curious as to how one gets it. But what I loved about Kevin was he flat out, first thing out of his mouth, when we were in this private room, he said, all of you need to find a premier mentor. And he goes, I could talk to you about he's like, I could tell you how to find it. And then he started laughing, and God, the man's always be closing us, but he's always be selling. He goes, we can always do that for another chat, which to me, I love it, because he was virtually offering himself to be a mentor in this capacity, to give up his free time for us, or not free time, but time for us for free. Right.
And I think that's
and I
the
really appreciate
importance
that.
of GLO. Don't you think, Syya? Is that as entrepreneurs, it's hard to find mentors, especially, ones that will actually take the time and share with you and guide you and help you create a solid plan. I know when I started Tied Together, I didn't have a mentor. And boy, on this go around, absolutely, that's top list.
So I want to point out, though, one important thing, because I've had some great conversations about the other side. If you want a great mentor, and he mentioned this yesterday, you have got to be a great mentee. And
good point.
I can't tell you how many people have come to me, Erin, can you help me? And you're dealing, like, are you an asshole? And I'm going to say it here on LinkedIn, are you going to ask for stuff and you're not going to do anything about it? Are you coming with an idea that I have sat down for hours with people, and then only to have, I didn't want to do it. So, or I didn't, and so if you want to find the great mentors, and I talked to a friend about this, I'm like, how do you avoid this? Because I want to help, I want to give my time, but my time is extremely precious, and I only want to give it to those people who are going to use it and respect it, because I respect my time. Other people have to too. And so, what my friend told me was, like, make them go through something, like give them an assignment sheet, give them something to do. If they're unwilling to do a couple steps to get to your time for free, then they're not worth it. And if they are worth it, it'll start to do that. So I think it's really important to understand, like, people are, how do I get a mentor? How do I get a mentor? How do I get a mentor? How can you approach the mentor that you are going to take them serious? Like, they know you're going to take them seriously. They know you value their time more than anything.
Agreed.
And how can you prove that to them, and understand they may have you do a couple things, and that's a really good mentor too, because you can take each other seriously.
No, I love that. I think it's such a valid point, Erin, because you're right. I haven't used the word asshole enough recently, but damn it, it's so freaking true.
It is so true.
I will add another layer of mentorship and menteeship and I'm learning this as a entrepreneur, and I found this very quickly, is I read a meme the other day talking about, if you don't have mentors from diverse backgrounds and areas, not just your area, you're missing out as well. You're shortchanging your mentor possibilities. But one that was pointed out to me, and I've kind of working towards that, is finding mentors that are younger than you to help you understand their world. Because I don't know about you ladies, but I am slowly but surely accepting I am of a certain generation. Rules. But
is that true?
I don't think like a Gen Z. I don't really, I mean, I have the maturity of a 12-year-old, but I don't think like a Gen Z, right? And so finding someone that you think has the emotional maturity to work with them, that they'll give you honest feedback. I think there's something about that as well, where you, it maybe might not be in that traditional mentor type role, but there's some that we can learn a lot from others that has that kind of possibility, if that makes sense.
I think you have to learn from everyone that you're involved with. And I mean, a business has so many different facets that, your mentors are all around you, whether it's on your own team or, like you say, a friend, Erin, that you were talking to, or business folks, capital people. I definitely think that you need to take nuggets from each one of those and apply them to your current situation and beyond. Maybe you table some of them because you're not quite ready, but in other ones, maybe you've moved past and you need to tweak some things. But you're right. There's so much to learn from other people, Syya.
Yeah, I love it. So I can't believe how time flies so quickly. You can't have a recap podcast that's the same length as the actual talk. There are days I just want to keep going. Cynthia, I mean, I love talking to you. You actually have been a big inspiration for me in my motivations to move into entrepreneurship. So I want to say thank you. I don't think I've ever told you that in all our years.
Thank you so much. I'm honored by that.
Oh, I love you, man. Okay, so because I love you so much, we look at PeerCheer covers, and I'm thinking about the use cases. And so if you don't mind, you showed me this cute little demo. It's not just simply like events as in like corporate type events or weddings. I mean, I can see this applied to like parties, or quite frankly, because we are sheltered, in place, how else could you liven up your own home, and cheer people up, but then have your own little mini parties, if you will. So I can see so much potential.
You can take your ordinary setting and within 60 seconds transform it with just these beautiful PeerCheer chairback covers, and it actually expands your day, the celebration. It gives you a reason to gather at the table, whether you're small or elderly or everybody in between, and share. And it changes the entire energy and the mindset. And I think that ripple effect, regardless of whether we're stay at home and we're transforming your dining space with just the chair cover there, or corporate event, there's so many use cases for these chair covers. And frankly, I cannot wait to get them out into the world and just really watch and be a part of the transformation and that ripple effect, because it's low effort, high impact. And I don't know about you ladies, but I need low effort, high impact in my life every day of the week. So even my children put these chair covers on because they want to celebrate. They want to feel differently. And it's absolutely amazing to watch the difference in just even their small behaviors when they have a seat at the table.
I love it. I love it.
Well, I'm going to give props too. Like, we're doing a lot of work on our house, and instead of doing chairs, like getting whole new furniture, we just did chair covers, and I don't think people realize the world of difference they make, and just like you said, Cynthia, very little effort. So
they sure do. And actually then you don't even need to celebrate, because the chair covers bring a different pop of color. They bring the celebration to you for you to expand. So I mean, we're very excited about it.
For me, it's like eco-friendly, right? Because how many times do people throw out decent furniture and maybe there's a scratch or there's a scuff, but I could see so much value that these covers will do for everyday living. But I will give props out as a GLO premium member in Dallas. Leslie's Business Moments by Design, it's all about party in a box. I could see where PeerCheer covers is a perfect complement, because how else can you dress up a place and just slip it on, slip it off, and call it a day? I love it.
That's right. And you can wash them and reuse them, so they become a part of your family's tradition. And then, of course, in the corporate world, you give everybody a seat at the table and you put their logos on them, and boom, we have a party.
Well, I was thinking more of the naughty chair. So you get to sit in the naughty chair. But okay, so Cynthia, how does one get a hold of you if they want to learn more about PeerCheer covers?
Oh, absolutely. PeerCheercovers.com. We have our site up. We're on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Come on over, check out our chair covers, and watch your home space be transformed.
Excellent. And hey, just because we're on LinkedIn as well, for those that want to see you on LinkedIn or connect with you, what's your LinkedIn profile?
Yes, it's Cynthia Beckham, Krekel Beckham, under PeerCheer covers and Tied Together Marketing.
Excellent. So, Erin, do you have any parting thoughts with GLO?
No, just make sure, like, part of this, we've got a couple great more sessions coming up in the month of December, but it was awesome to have VIP access to Kevin Harrington and be able to ask those questions. You do have to be a premium member, though, in order to do that. So head over to with GLO, GLO stands for Global Leaders Organization, to learn more and check that out.
Excellent. And so I actually, to correct you, I think there's only one last event going for the December. And it was and then we're going to take a break for the holidays, everyone. So we will resume back in January, and it's actually going to be even huger. Actually, no, we have two. I'm sorry. We picked up another one. So next week is going to be Cheryl Action Jackson. So I'm super excited to have her join us for December 10th next week. And the week after is, I know you know him, Erin, Jeff Sinelli, the CEO and founder of Witch.
Yeah. He's awesome. So I'm telling you, he's awesome. He's humble. He's generous. We had him speak at the third Entrepreneur Summit, and I can't tell you the stories I heard even after of him helping people. So good person to know.
And their sandwiches are delicious.
Mm-hmm.
I love my switch.
Okay, and you know what? I'm going to do a shout out to our fellow in Mexico City. Carlos is actually throwing his chapter is throwing a mixology masterclass. So it will be in English with maybe some Spanish thrown in every now and then because it is in Mexico City. But he said it's open to everyone. If you want to learn some new, wonderful, tasty beverages for the holidays or the New Year's, so check that out on December 8th. You can see all of this on the calendar at withglow.com/events. And on that note, guys, I think that's a great wrap up for Afterglow Live Recap Podcast. Have a safe and wonderful weekend.